Hey guys, welcome to this presentation. My name is Shatil Jones, and let's get started. So what exactly are we going to talk about today? This research project is based on an effective assessment practice that can be used when assessing students in your classroom. We're going to be discussing performance-based assessments, also called authentic assessments, also called PBA. Now, an authentic task usually has a purpose. It's relevant to students, and if used correctly, it gives students a reason to put tons of effort in their projects in order to succeed. So in this video, we'll be going over what performance-based assessment is. We'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of using a performance-based assessment. We'll talk a little bit about using PBA with ELL students, and we'll also discuss how to plan a performance-based assessment. The real reason we'll be exploring performance-based assessment is because I love them. I actually love them. I can really connect myself to them, and they're pretty awesome. And I'm not saying other assessments are boring, but hey, I'll let you be the judge of that. So what are performance-based assessments? A performance-based assessment, when you look at it, keep in mind two important elements. Do the students understand what has been taught to them, and will they be able to apply it? Students should constantly ask themselves, what have I learned, and can I show you? So both the students and the teacher have a part or play a part in the performance-based assessment process. What type of tasks can students be given, or what can they do with performance-based assessments? So performance-based assessments can come from projects, products, presentations, or performances. So some examples of those type of projects that you would give to the students are, but not limited to, products will be poster boards or collages. Graphic organizers are really nice. Having the students create some form of book is great for all early childhood students. Letting them build 3D models or edible models. Hey, even this very video is a perfect example of a product. Some presentations might be oral reports or interviewing processes. Having the students give speeches, PowerPoints, thumbs up again. This is a PowerPoint. A really great example of a performance can come in high scales or low scales. I mean, students who do sports, that's a performance. It shows what they know and what they've been doing, have they been studying. Music, as far as playing instruments, even singing or doing a poem. Academic competitions are also really great performances. Role plays, things can get really big when using performance-based assessments. A lot of times it would be great to give the students an academic choice. Use their interest as a hook into the process of it, and they'll enjoy it. A lot of schools offer STEM and STEAM programs. These type of programs offer multiple hands-on opportunities for students in all areas: science and technology, engineering, arts, math. Students really get in there and they can get their hands wet. So performance-based assessments, they do what other assessments can't do. In fact, they reach beyond standardized tests. They evaluate in areas other assessments really can't. Performance-based assessments are like the cream of the crop. So what's the point of a performance-based assessment? Why should you use them? Well, as an educator, you should consider using this sort of assessment in your classroom because it provides evidence to the things that you need from your students. A lot of times, performance-based assessments, they determine the level of a student's learning after you have taught a lesson or a unit. They're designed to evaluate the student's individual growth and their understanding. They predict a student's ability to apply knowledge. They link standards with student mastery. Yep, those darn standards again. And I'm not finished yet. There is actually more good news. There are many advantages for using performance-based assessments in your classroom. PBAs offer a higher cognitive focus for students. They are usually open-ended projects with no single correct answer. Students are pretty much going to produce different type of projects or results for you. You'll see all type of things. They help students develop skills that are really useful in college and in their future careers. Performance-based assessments encourage students' performances and increases their motivation. How about that? Student motivation. So students, again, they get their hands wet. Not only do they develop mechanical skills in a way, but it's great preparation for their future. It teaches them accountability. And another great advantage is the more complex the requirements are, proficiency usually increases. It's pretty flexible. Performance-based assessments are flexible. I love this. This type of assessment can be used in small or large projects. They can be given daily, monthly, or quarterly. They can also be required from individuals or whole group, small group. It makes a lot of room for adjustments, and I know this is really handy for teachers. This one is my favorite. Another gigantic advantage is that performance-based assessments, they reach the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. Students are creating and producing new or original work. You got to admit, the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy is pretty darn awesome. That's exactly where we want our students in this marathon called education. We want them to be the best. Last but not least, students earn intrinsic rewards. They find themselves interested in what they're doing. They have a sense of accomplishment. It gives them satisfaction. Students get to see their achievements, and that's such a great reward. Now for the bad news. Yes, I know it sucks, but it's better to know it now than later, right? So there are a few disadvantages of using a performance-based assessment. If the goals are not realistic, if the students can't really reach those goals, then they might not do well. If the rubrics are not clear, students can't give you what you want. They can't even give a part of themselves in the project if they don't know what's expected of them. Performance-based assessments take a lot of time to plan and evaluate. So they can be a little exhausting, but don't cry. It's just a minor setback. Because performance-based assessments are usually given at the end of a unit or a lesson, it's too late for students who are struggling or those who have not retained the concepts. So if a student doesn't understand the lesson prior to the assessment, they may not perform well. Yes, they may need help or scaffolding, but how can they get it at the end of a lesson, right? Not good. So, what's the plan? How do we plan for performance-based assessments? How do we go about this process or get the show on the road? So I'll help you. It's pretty simple. Think about what skills are being assessed. How will you evaluate their products or performances? What is the purpose of the assessment? Will the assessment help students meet the standards? Is this type of assessment even needed at this point? Will the students be able to connect it to themselves or any relevant entity? Is it challenging enough for them? Will you use a rubric? Will the students help build it? How will you grade it? These are very important factors that need to be considered before even giving a performance-based assessment. Show exemplars or examples so that students can see what is required of them. They can see the end goal. So warning, don't be that teacher who students can't figure out. Keep it simple. Keep it realistic. Always, always, always give feedback. Students, just like us, want to know where they're at. They want to know what they need to do for improvement. This is very important in the performance-based assessment process. They need feedback. Don't be afraid to assess your ELL students. Make realistic goals for these students. Don't make the project too difficult or too easy for them. These students are still smart. They may not always be able to verbally express themselves, so let them show you what they can do. Be patient. This is what makes performance-based assessment so wonderful. And for goodness sake, be the hero. If you haven't realized it yet, performance-based assessments are fun. Be the hero. Give them to the students. Save 5th grade, please. No, really, save 5th grade. I hope that you give performance-based assessments a try in your classroom. They're pretty awesome if you give them try out. You'll see the results and you'll continue to use them. Thank you.